כל מסכת בספר נכתבים. ככה זה חביבי. You should always feel somewhat, right? Okay, Rabbi, so Shalom Aleichem. HaKohen HaGodol came, so we can start. Let's start. Give a look at Perek Kavav, Pasuk Lamed Vav Lamed Zayin. On Perek Kavav, Pasuk Lamed Vav Lamed Zayin. והנשארים בכם, והבאתי מורח, רק פסוק למדבר, פרק כ"ו, פסוק למדבר, נבח אצל נקלונס, והנשארים בכם, והבאתי מורח בלבבם, בארצות אביהם, ורדף אותם כל עולה נידף, ונוסו מנוס אחר, ונופלו, ואין רוידף. There's no one running after them. Then it says again, וקושלו איש באחיו כי מפני חרב, ורוידף אין. Says Rashi there, פסוק למד זין, let's see the next Rashi. וחושלו איש באחיו כשירוצו לנוס, when they're going to flee when they're going to run to flee, ייכשלו זה בזה, כי יבעלו לרוץ, כי מפני חרב, כאילו בורחים מלפני הורגים, as if they're running away from those who want to kill them, שיהיה בלבבם פחד, וכל שעה סבורים שאדם רודפם, every hour they think someone's running after them, ממש paranoia, that's called paranoia. כל שעה סבורים שאדם רודפם. It says אין רוידף. Would it be a bigger cloud if there was a roidef? I mean, ain't roidef, so it's a psychological issue. Okay, with all respect, but it's not Sakonas Nefoshes. If there's a roidef, it's Sakonas Nefoshes. At the end of the day, isn't it better that there is no roidef? It sounds like the klala is more enhanced, if you could say a klala enhanced, because there's no roidef. At the end of the day, that's better. So there's no one with a knife running after you. What?
In constant fear, then.
Okay.
It's an imaginary constant fear.
What's worse, an imaginary fear, or someone who's really out to kill you?
Yeah, but if it's real, then you can counteract it. You can knock him out.
I would prefer it to be in the fear of someone who wants to kill me than someone who really wants to kill me. I must tell you. maybe I don't know.
I'm not sure.
You're not sure, okay?
But if you think that if your fear of the person that wants to kill you is real,
yeah,
then it's the same.
Exactly.
You don't know that. You think that they're real. So from the person's fear perspective, they're just as bad. The only difference is that it's constant because it can never, even if you.
But if it's ein roidef though, it's the Sakonas Nefoshes. Nefoshes.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's not what that klala is.
The club is the fear.
Okay. I'll tell you what they're going to. Somebody say.
The same volume of fear for something unreal or something real. It's probably worse if the thing isn't even there.
But you're going to live. You're going to live. If there's a real life, if Chas Hashem, maybe the person won't live. I'll tell you what the Goin says. I mean, I heard it from Yeris and David. I didn't see the Goin inside. There's a Maila B'Nirdaf, Elokim Mivakesh Nirdaf. It's supposed to be, I think, in Mishlei. Elokim, or Koheles. V'Elokim Mivakesh Nirdaf says the Gemara, even if it's Tzaddiks going after Russia. Elokim Mivakesh Nirdaf. There's some kind of sympathy that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has with the Nirdaf. Ain't right if you won't get that sympathy. That's what the Gemara says. There's some mile of being a nirdaf, you won't have it because there's no nirdaf. It's just in your head. So you could still say, but isn't Sakonas Nefoshes worse? But there's an element of, when there's no roidef, you won't have the mile of Elokim Yivakesh nirdaf. That's what I was told in the name of the Goyen. Okay, Rabbi say. Now let's go on Rashi, the next, in that same Rashi. What does it say? Umidrasho. וכשלו איש באחיו, זה נכשל בעוונו של זה, שכל ישראל ערבים זה בזה. Here Rashi says in Chumash. Meaning, וכשלו איש באחיו, they're going to trip on each other, they're going to trip on each other's averas. So, they're going to trip on each other's averas. That's what's going to happen. Rabbi, so what promoted Rashi to say that? What's the problem with the Pshuta Shemikra? Nebuch, we know what happened to Nebuch a few years ago in Iran. They were running over each other. Nebuch, we know what happened to Shem Yirachem. Shem Yirachem. That's what it says here. Ma baya. Why do you have to say the Medrash? It's very good. Ma chaser.
What does it mean, Nechshel Ba'adman?
They're responsible. They're going to trip on each other's averas. Meaning they'll be accountable for others' averas. They'll be punished for other ones' averas. Which means going so long as that. Professor, look carefully at the pasuk. I want you to discover it. What do you think? What do you think the moral says? V'koshu ish be'ochiv. You have to say he's a brother. You can't say v'koshu ish be'ish or ish be'reu. Why is the Torah calling him brother?
That's Rashi mentions this somewhere that achiv or achosai, it just means the pair. It doesn't mean achiv. Re'egu would be more of a kasha.
No, I'm not. Achiv comes from the word echad.
Yes, but
No, achiv is much more. I'll tell you that's what it says here.
in the Mishkan, for instance, the different
Okay, when you say among people, though, achiv means it's a special Indian there. We're going to see that also. It's also in this week's parsha in Behar. Meaning, Rabbi say, this is such a moral classic. Why do you have to say you could trip on a stender, you could trip on a chair? Why do you say he's tripping on a brother? He's just there physically, a stumble block. So why are you calling a stumble block brother? Nifla, what the Bible says. That's the because I understood. You're tripping over him because it's a brother. If it's just physically you're there, you don't have to be a brother for that. That could be anything. It doesn't have to eat something alive. Achiv means because he's your brother. And that means Kol Yisrael Arim Zebazeh. You're all one. Moshe Shapiro would say that once when Isaac Sher asked him, Lama, when he was a kid, why are all Yidden called brothers? What's the answer? Why are they all called brothers? Yes?
They're about the same father.
So Moshe starts saying all kinds of Torahs, and he said, what you said? They have the same father. Kulanu bnei Yishach anachnu. Well, the children of one. So B'mei Rabbi say, why do you have to say it's Achim? So the answer is, because Ach comes from the word Echad, as we know. Ichui, it's all from Lashon of one. You are responsible, Kol Yisrael Arim Zebazeh, and Mimele, Rabbi say, that's what Rashi understood here. So let's just go through again the Pshat here, one Nakuda. Kol Yisrael Arim Zebazeh. How do you read the pasuk weiter? The Koshlu Ish Be'achiv, like they're running away from a milchama. The roidef ayin. How can that fit if it's not averis? Well, there's no averis. How do you read the pasuk? How do you read roidef ayin from mitzvah koshlo ishba? The koshlo ishba. What's the lesson there? Ishba chim zeh nichshon ba'avoino shulzeh. Each one is falling over the avera of yenim. Right? That's because the koshlo ishba achiv. No, how do you read the pasuk? The Roy defined. How does that? The Rebbe Misachi asks that question. What does it mean Roy defined? There's no Averis? That's what it means. There's no Averis. They wouldn't have been this so close to start with.
Great big headache.
I'm sorry.
Great big headache. Meaning no one's running after.
Okay, so remember we learned the Yisod of Maharal. It's good to remember it until you're going to be older Zetas. Okay. הרב כדורי כשתהיה בן 119. לא 120 זה ודאי. תזכור את זה ב-119, I'll work it out. זה יסתדר. Rabbi said, remember we learned the Yisod of Maharal, it's always good to remember it, when he said on Chazal, Baruch, אתה איתנו Baruch? חי ותוסס? The Maharal says, remember guys, he says on this Yisod, what I'm going to share with you now, ודוב הזה הוא מפתח גדול, ויסוד גדול, ושורש גדול. He says in all three. Right? What I'm going to share with you now, what I say. He says it in Bereshis Perek now, but he says it over in the Gemara. I counted 30 times. But here he says it also. It's one of the 30. But Rabbi say, Chazal are not coming to replace the Pshat. They're coming to make a hamok in the Pshat. Of course, the Pasuk Pshat, the Pasuk means they're going to trip over each other. They're gonna, what's the word, stumble over each other? That's what it means. You know why? You know why they're gonna stumble each other? You know why? So first of all, you can say technically because you fall over each other. But there's an element, because there's a verse, you're responsible for verse, that's like going to fall over each other also. Meaning it's giving an understanding to what you see. And that's what Yisrael said, it's always good to remember, because again, the point that I'm asking now, you know where you always reach it? I was asked by Torah Masara to make a whole, for all their schools, a curriculum, a syllabus, all these fancy words. I don't know Rashi. I have a big yitzhar to do it, but but it takes a lot of koiches. I got to see if I have the time. And every Rashi in the world, there's 4 stages. Let's go over it again. What's stage 1?
What's the problem?
What's the problem? How am I supposed to know what's the problem? How do I discover it?
By the solution.
First of all, by his answer, you can find out what was the problem. His Dibur Matil, the quotes, also focuses on the problem. There's a few ways to figure out what's the problem. There's a problem in the pasuk, and Rashi is coming to iron out the problem. What's stage 2? The answer. Now, what does that mean? What changed between Rashi's question and Rashi's answer? Sometimes it's very easy to figure that out. Sometimes you got to define it. I'll give you an example that we spoke about in the past. Ezer kenegdoi. So what does Rashi say there? You remember? Zacha Ezer. Lo zacha kenegdo li lochem. That's Rashi. Fine. What was Rashi bothered by? The opposites. So what's the answer?
Sometimes this and sometimes
So it's still opposites, huh?
yeah.
Not the same time.
How do you solve the opposite? How do you solve? It's oxymoron. Or she says, or she's connected.
Yeah, 'cause
So what's the answer?
It's not simultaneous.
So meaning, there's no problem that she could be opposites. But simultaneously, it could be opposites. Meaning, Rashi understood the question. It's at one time. At one time, how can it be opposites at one time? And on that, the answer is what? It's not one time. It's different time. That's okay. Let's go to stage 3. Stage 1, stage 2 is also if there's a dover acher, like Rashi have to bring a dover acher, and what's the difference? What each one? There's a problem with the first one, so just say the second one. Oh, there's a problem with the second one as well. How can we brought the first one first? Because it's better, but it's not perfect. That's all called stage 2. Fine. What's stage 3?
Go back.
How does it fit in?
Reread the pasuk and see if it fits in. If you just look at the word, you sometimes overlook that. The Koshla Ish B'Achiv. Why does it say Achiv? Achiv, if you fall over something, it doesn't have to be a brother. So why does it say the Koshla Ish B'Achiv? It means Ish wants Nichshal Ba'avoino Shel Hasheni. Fine. Good. But read the pasuk. We're going to find how does that work? And it has to work. That happens pretty often, not a lot, but pretty often, that what Rashi is saying is, if you just look at the word, if it's great, but if you look at the whole pasuk, it doesn't flow. And here the Rambam says this Yisod again in Brachis. The Dovas, you cannot imagine how many times I use this, Maral. He's mentioned it 30 times in the Gemara. I used it a lot more than 30 times. Halbayota. Why? Because again, Chazal, the Pashup Shab remains that they're trembling on each other. They're falling over each other. If the term would have meant only that, so there's no need to call the one that you're falling over a brother. Whatever it is that you fall over it. That means there's a hamaka in what you're saying. You know why they're tripping over each other? It's a manifestation of what's behind the scenes, that they're averse of each other. The Kol Yisrael Arivim Zeh and they're falling of each other. But Chazal never meant to say it's not speaking about a physical trampling over. No. Trampling, that's the word in English? What? Trampling. With a P or a B? P. Of course the trampling pshat remains. But if it would have meant only that, you don't have to be enough for that. So there's an additional dimension added in the pshat. But the pshat remains. And therefore we're going to find. You're so annoyed of this, Maral. I understand why you got so excited of it. It helps you in so many different ways. I'll give you one more example. It has to do a little bit with Inyoni Diyama. Yisur coming. Let's give a look. Remember we did this once? But we did it. We did it already many times. Okay, Eino Doimim Mishishena Pilko Mea Pamim Mishishena Pilko Mea Vechad. Okay, good. Rabbi say, let's go on. But just I just want to stand in the word the Shorish Ayin Reish Bet. Look how many different words it means in Hebrew. Again, it's I can tell you again, just for when I'm driving and if I'm not listening to a share, you know what I think about many times about Hebrew words, and it's unbelievable what you discover. I'm serious. The Chachma V'Lashon HaKodesh. Ayin Reish Bet. Let's see, how many words do you know in Hebrew that have the shorish Ayin Reish Bet? Erev means what? Evening. Eruv. Erev of a city.
Erev is one time of day.
And what?
Erev is the afternoon, evening.
Yeah, we said that. Evening. Erev, sweet.
Erev.
What else went?
I meant guarantor.
A guarantor and allow.
Sweet as well.
What?
Erev.
A raven is called Oirev. Tell me more.
Aravi.
Aravi. I got to check out if the word Aravi appears in Tanakh. I don't think it does, but in Chazal it does. Erev, that's not Ilvov. The Arab of a Lulav. What? Shtiva Arev. Yeah, it's Shtiva Erev. I got to think what it means really. Okay, I have to come back to the Lishkach. Again, but Arev, no, we spoke about. What's the common denominator of all these words? So again, for the Besmedish of the Maral and the Goyen and the Malbim, always has to be a Shaykhus. The Radak and Sefer Shirashim saying, no, there's no Shaykhus. The Radak and Sefer Shirashim, it's a Sefer that I use very often. It means this and this and that. He didn't feel committed to say that they all have to have some kind of Shaykhus. But the other Besmedish did. So if you think about it, you'll see what I said. It's all about mixture. L'dugma. Erev means what happens at night when it gets dark, so things get mixed up with each other. The word boker in Hebrew, what does it mean?
Vaker.
What does levaker mean?
Check out.
To check out, to see, to differentiate. Right? Good. Right? That's like I'm Shabbos the candle, because otherwise everything gets mixed up with each other. That's Erev. Ma'arav, west, because the sun sets there and becomes night. Erev. Right? Orev, the Raven Chazal say it was a mixed breed of two birds. That's like it has that kind of tema. It's a Chazal. Mu'urav. Erev of a city, that's special. What does it do? It gets the whole city together. That's its whole lumdus. Arev, that it's sweet. That's what we spoke about last week. So it becomes a part of you. If you eat something which is not, if you eat a food without an appetite, it doesn't get digested, it doesn't become part of your blood. It doesn't. Like what we saw in the Eglertal last week. And the guarantor, because he's getting involved in something which he doesn't have to be there. You need a lender, you need a borrower. That I understand. You don't need a guarantor. So he's getting involved in something which he doesn't have to get involved. Okay? So that's all of them have to do with each other. What he saw, so we translate it means we're responsible for each other. But it means that we're all together one, so therefore we're responsible for each other. And now the word Aravi, this I said over once to Rabbi Shapira, and he agreed. What does it say about Yishmael? Yado bakol v'yad kol bo.
Mixing in.
Mixing in. And Rabbi said, if you think about it, that's mamash the definition of terrorism. The Amos. What's the chilek between a war between Russia and Ukraine and terrorism? War is there's one country on one side, another country on the other side, and then they have a war. That's what we know what war means. But that they're in the same streets with you. You go on the same buses. You use the same shops. They're walking here. They're not there. That's the definition of Yishmael. There's no borders. He's with you, you're with him, and gvulot. That's called Aravi. Aravi means it's mamash the definition. Look it up, guys. I remember once I heard Bibi Netanyahu speak. He wrote a book about terrorism, and the definition of terrorism is that it's without borders. on the same planes, on the same boat, on the same everything. אנחנו ביחד. Okay, Rabbi Yisrael.
Rava?
What?
A Rava?
But Rava, Avalula, because it always has to be immersed with something else in water, otherwise it dries out. It has to be always in something else. Yeah.
So it's Shesi Ve'erev then as well, it's intermingled now, is it not?
Yeah, that's mingle. Shtiva Erev. Yeah, the Erev part, yeah. Nachon. It all has to do with that. With the what's the word in Pesach that you don't, memishsach nisht? What's the word again? Memishsach nisht. Yeah. Baruch HaKol B'Sadayim, Baruch. Irbudia. It's all been a cholet. It's all a cholet. The peas and the potatoes, and that's always what the word means. What?
No peas.
Peas.
Peas in the show?
There's no peas in the cholet?
No, I mean.
No?
Beans.
Beans and barley.
Beans, I'm sorry.
Kidney.
That's what they. Okay. Okay, Rabbi said. Now let's go right there. Where's Rashi saying twice in the Klaus, Zu Mida Toiva Yisrael? This is good news.
When the enemies come, there's nothing there.
Oh, so let's give a look. Let's give a look what we said. Let's see Perk. What? No. Oh. I think we all have Chumash, you know? Okay. רב דוד כל כך נחמד לראות אותך. Okay, give a look at what I said, Per Kavav, Pasuk Lamed Beis. Per Kavav, Pasuk Lamed Beis. והשימויסי אני אס הארץ, ושלמו עליה אויביכם היושבים בה. Okay. Fine. So, Per Kavav, Pasuk Lamed Beis. והשימויסי, the land will be left.
Desolate.
What?
Desolate.
Desolate, okay. It's the Aretz v'shamamu aleh oivechem hayoshvim ba. Let's look at the pasuk. V'ashimaysi ani es Aretz zu mida toiva liYisrael shelo yimatzu haoivim nachat ruach ba'artzam shetiyeh shomema miyoshvea. This is good news. Zu mida toiva liYisrael shelo yimatzu haoivim nachat ruach ba'artzam. The enemies will not find nachas ruach. How would you say nachas ruach in English? Pleasure.
Satisfaction.
What?
Satisfaction.
Yeah, satisfaction. Shetiyeh shomema miyoshvea. Is Rashi's Dibur HaMatril the right Dibur HaMatril? Look at the Dibur HaMatril. The Chorich should have been the Sefer of the Pasuk. V'shamamu aleh oivechem hayoshvim ba. Rashi is quoting the ratio of the Pasuk. V'ashimoisi ani es ha'aretz u'mida tov Yisrael. So that's one ha'ara. The way we have the Dibur HaMatril, he's supposed to quote the Sefer, not the Resha.
Isn't the middle Torah the cause, not the effect? The middle Torah is what Kosh Baruch Hu does. So that's on the first part of the Pasuk. Hashimois is alright. Because of that, the result will be the middle Torah is the first part.
What would be a problem if you would say V'shamu aleh oivechem? If you would quote that part.
You would call that middle Torah. That would be a result.
It was what?
That's the result of the middle Torah. That's not the middle Torah.
The Mida Torah is...
Middle Torah is what Kosh Baruch Hu does. The result, why is there middle Torah? Because the effect will be...
I don't know. Let me show me out.
No?
I hear.
It's different words, aren't they?
What?
They're different words.
Which different words?
Hashimosi and V'shomer.
V'ashimosi. V'ashimosi means says the uglus v'atzti, Anna.
Yeah.
Atzti means I'll make it empty. It's a different... V'ashimosi ani es ha'aretz.
So what should Rashi
The
say?
ones on there. The middle.
L'chor Rashi shall quote the words v'shamu aleh oivechem.
That doesn't mean it's a different word of Hashimosi, right? That's not the cause.
So therefore what? So what do you want to explain out there, Abba? Tell me.
The cause is the Hashimosi.
That's what he should have said.
V'ashimosi is what? What does it mean?
That's what
That's what Kosh Baruch Hu does in order to have the
What does Rashi Moise mean though?
I will
I
make
would
it
empty.
barren.
I would empty. I would empty.
I will make it what?
Barren.
I will make it barren, and that will be the result.
Yeah.
Meaning Rashi Moise.
Yeah.
Meaning Rashi Moise means I'll make it shmama. Okay. Now I'll say. So I want to ask you, Kasha, how taka in the middle of the klolos there's such a midah toima? So taka from us. We're in the midst of the klolos now. There's 49 klolos here. So in the middle of the klolos there's good news. Zumida toima Yisrael. So in the Havana, echid gelgel letoch ha-klolos midah toima.
And why is it dafka here, the negative? Maybe there's other hidden good things.
I don't know if there are.
But why is it only meant? Is that also a question? Why is it
I don't know. I don't know if there are other ones.
Isn't it because Rashi's constantly counting the groups of 7, so he's counting the
So
ones
that the morale takes care of. Look at the morale that you have at home. Yesh l'chadzeh. Baruch Hashem. And he takes care of it. That's not Rashi's cheshbon. Then to make sure we're not going beyond the 7. Yeah, he offers that as a possibility. But Rabbi said, meaning, I myself don't have 100% klolkeit because I want to show you another time that Rashi says Zumi the Torah Yisrael in the middle of the klolos. Memalef. Right.
The question's on the pasuk, not on Rashi, right?
Yeah. Meaning the way Rashi explains the pasuk, how did it come in? Like it doesn't belong here then. Let's give a look at pasuk Mem Aleph. What does it say there? Shkoyach. Afani elech imam bekeri ve'eviti otam be'etzavem oaz yikana levam arel v'az yotzu savoinam. So again, what does Rashi say there? Ve'eviti otam ani atzmi aviyam. I'm going to go with him. Zumi the Torah Yisrael. Shelo yu oimrim o'il v'galinu ben ha'uma yisna aseh k'ma'aseh. You know, we're off now. Ani eini manicham. I'm still not going to let go of them. Ela ma'amid ani et nevi'ai u'machziram letachat knafai. Shenamar pasuk in Yechezkel v'ho'ila al ruchachem ha'yolosiyah chai aninu v'Hashem Elokim im lo biyad chazaka u'bezoar netuya amloch aleichem. Right? So what's the direction to answer this question? How does midah toiva mitgalgelo b'toch klolos? So the kivun is it's a spitz klala. The klala reaches it's a deeper level of klala, and there, meaning when it becomes a deeper klala, there's also a bracha, but it's a deeper klala. Meaning, Eretz Yisrael, let's go back to Eretz Yisrael. Eretz Yisrael will be so uninhabitable. What's the word in English?
Uninhabitable.
Uninhabitable.
I'm afraid so, yeah.
What?
Yeah, I'm afraid that's it.
Yeah, uninhabitable. That it'll be so uninhabitable that no one can be there. It's going to be so dry, so you can't. But that gufa, that oimek klala has some positive element to it, but it's a result of the oimek haklala, meaning it's going to be it's shnei tzadim shel echad. It's two sides of the same coin. When the klala reaches such a level that you know the pill committee that England sent in the late 30s, Pill Commission. I had to study it for my bagut. It's about you guys, about you English cover. You remember they had a survey. They sent the commission to Israel. If you could have a Yidden living in Israel, you know what they said?
Can't have to. The country is too full.
No.
Even a cat can't live there. Look it up. Google it afterwards. The pill commission, and the say was even a cat cannot live there. It's impossible to live there. Even a cat can't. That's what they said. What? Yeah, that's what they said. Meaning, so when you say that it's so impossible to live there, that even no one can live there. So we made it. That's in a kind of irony way. That's a shtickle bracha, but it's because it's the spitz klala. The spitz klala is that it's so uninhabitable that even your enemies can't live there. Not only because we had to flee and we went to Golos. So it's a spitz, right? Good. You agree, guys? That that's a shot? Does it make sense to you? Yeah? I can get it in writing? Come on, say? Good. Now let's go to the next one with Aleph. Meaning, what's going to be a pasuk of Aleph? What's to be the term there? Afani elechem em bekeri. I'm going to make sure that they're going to go. Meaning, there's no chances here. They're going to end up Eretz Oivem. I'm going to make sure that's going to happen. I'm going to make sure it's going to happen that they're going to land in the worst possible way. But that in itself, likbo a bracha. So that means the Eibush is with us. Like when the Kodesh Baruch Hu is saying, I'm going to make sure that you're going to reach the bottom of the bottom. That's what I'm going to do. That's what the pasuk says. I'm going to bring them to the country of their enemies. It's going to be. I don't know if it's a good word. Is pits a good word? The pits of something. It's not Nivelpur, right? No.
American slang.
I just want to make sure that I'm not saying it's from Nivelpur.
It means the last place, the pits.
The lost. In America, we said. I always said a chash. Maybe it means, but it's not Nivelpur, right?
Well, in this country. I don't know.
No. There's a tzad.
There is a tzad, yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, I'm saying. Okay, so please delete it from here. Okay, I'm saying. If it's attacking up, meaning it's the spitz klala. Meaning, not only at the first glance, it is a spitz klala. Hakadosh Baruch Hu is saying, I'm going to make sure, I'm going to take you, each one of you, to the Eretz Yisrael. I'm going to do that. But likto, then you're not alone. So I'm going to be, right? That's what comes out. Okay, Zumi the Tova. The spitz klala has a positive element, but it came as a spitz klala. But there's a side benefit for the spitz klala. Okay.
Why are those more spitz klala than any of the
Yeah,
others?
that's what I was asking.
Why?
Why are they more spitz klala than any of
No, the spitz klala of Eretz Yisrael, let's go back to Eretz Yisrael, for example. It will be such a desolated country that no one can live there. No one. Not only you, that you have enemies that took you to exile and they forced you to leave. You just can't live there. Because Eretz Yisrael will be so unproductive, so it's just impossible to live there. It's like living on the moon. You can't live there.
That's worse than Vachaltem B'Sam B'Neichem?
I don't know how to. I'm not comparing klalas.
No, I'm just saying, why is that more spitz?
No, I'm saying this klala reaches the spitz. The klala of Hashimoisi, that Eretz Yisrael will be desolated, the spitz of it is that even Goyim can't be there. I'm not comparing one klala to another.
So why those two and not the other four?
I don't know. I'm not coming to answer either. I don't know. I just want to know over here why it's mentioned. Okay?
It's also saying that because Baruch Hu is doing them himself. I don't know, I haven't checked all the others to see that.
Vehevesi, it says Vehevesi.
So I'm saying it's worse. It's a stronger klala because HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself seems to be doing it.
The whole of it.
Yeah.
It's not klala.
No, it's the Lashon Vehevesi, but it's because Vehevesi is, says Rashi, I'm going to carry them. It's not the word ani, it's Vehevesi, I'm going to bring them. Okay, Rabbi say. Let's go on. Okay. Also, a very cute word that you could say to your wives, but again, I want to go a little bit more ba'omek on it. In the parsha of the Arachim. So let's go over the numbers. A Zachar, what does it say? Let's give a look at by some Perek Zayin Pasuk Gimel. Behar Bechukosai ben 10 shana v'abnen 60 shana. That's 50 shkali. That's like the peak. V'im nikavai on that bracket 30 shekel. Okay. V'im ben 5 shani v'abnen 20 shana, from the age of 5 to 20. So the Zachar is 20, and the Nekeva is 30. And then when they reach 20, it's when they came at 10, and then when they reach the age of 20, both of them become times 3. The 20 becomes 60, and the 10 becomes 30. Okay? And then let's go Pasuk Zayin. The Im ben 60 shana v'mala, Im zachar v'yakir kacha 15 shekel. He goes down from 60 to 15. When Akiva 10 shekalim. So who goes down? Who has a deeper dip? Who's the Zachar? So look what Rashi says of that. It's a very known Rashi, and you say it over to your wives. So maybe don't say it over to your wives. Okay. Ha'isha chova lichashev ke'ish. The gap is less. Lefikach ha'ish pochet bizdeklo yoter mishlish be'elko. He goes less than a third. He used to be worth 60, and now he's worth 15. So it's less than a third. Va'isha ina pochet ela shlish be'elka. She goes down from 30 to 10. The Ama Inchi, people say, Saba Babeita, if you have an old man at home, Pacha Babeita. It's what?
Something broken.
Something broken. It gets a taurus. Safta Babeita, when there's a grandmother at home, Sima Babeita. V'simana Tova Babeita. It's good. Right? It's so true. You see, like women after the age of 60, 70, they're still very, very helpful. And men after 70, whatever, they're like so grumpy and kindness. They're not happy with this, they're not happy with that. We know. Well, some people start even before 70, before 60, right? So this is a nice thing to know, that when they reach an older age, the gap between them gets less. Why? Now this is a Rashi we all knew before, I'm sure. Right? Now, the deterioration of a man is greater than the deterioration of a woman. A man goes even below 33%. And a woman, 33%. And it's a mashal, Saba Babeita, Pacha Babeita, Safta Babeita, Sima Babeita, Simona Tova Babeita. Fine. And we see it's Emes Lamita. Why? But what's the shot? Lama Zakafa. Why does the man, he dips lower than a woman? Makatuv po.
What's the question?
I want to understand this phenomenon. Why is it so like that?
They've got to get closer to each other.
I don't know if that's the Nakuna, even though that's how Rashi starts. But the fact is, man deteriorates. Look at the mashal. Saba Babeta, Pacha Babeta. It's just problems. And when a Safta Babeta, it's great. So the deterioration of a man is greater. Why? So it's Likba Yisoid that the higher you go, the deeper you fall. You want to bring me a stuff to that. Because you were so high, therefore you fall so low. Give me a tzushta. Where do you see that in it? One tzushta I could say by the Nachash. Look at Rashi in Bereshit Perek Gimel. Okay, where does it say? Give a look at Perek Gimel Pasuk Aleph. Exactly. V'anachash haya orum mikol. Says Rashi, Lefi omoto v'gdulato hayta mapalato. Arum mikol. Right? Because he was so clever and so intelligent and so therefore when he fell down to the bottom. What do you say, Negel Azov?
You can just see in Matan Torah, and then...
I think it's a different thing. We're trying to say, because you can reach so high...
Not Matan Torah, they just came out of Mitzrayim, and then...
Yeah. Because it was Matan Torah. Meaning, it does say about Yisrael, they reach Kochavi, or they go down all the way to Afar. The growing sumas. The they say that the chalukah of domem tzomeach chai medaber. Right? Exactly. So when the tzomeach stops becoming tzomeach, he's less than domem.
I wasn't thinking about Arpa.
What?
Arpa.
What about Arpa?
One minute she's a sister of Rus, and she was a sister of Rus and married into the
But where's it said? Because
she goes all the way down.
But where's it said because she was so high, therefore she went so low? That's what I'm looking for. Me'ikar Rama lebira mikta, for sure, that happens. But because it was Ikar Rama, because it could reach so high, so therefore it could be so low.
What about
What does it say, baby? But Rabbi say it's saying in the Kuria that because the ish could reach higher, whatever, that's going to be false more. It has to be that that's the Yisoid. It's not stop. It's not, because when you lose your Maila, it's not that you go back to what was before. You have nothing. Adam that dies, they say the odor of a goof of an Adam is 10 times worse of a Behema. Because it could have been so Adam, it could go Mamish Hashem Yerachem. Okay, Rabbi Said, we want to wish the Jewish people, and Rav Kadoli has to leave now, huh? Mary. You keep the whole sphere?
No, I just didn't get
Achen Asfarim it's still today, right? I took a today because Ani Sfaradim live. Also, my barber only could have come today. Maybe he's Asfaradim. He says he's a goy, but I'm telling you the truth. But he tells me his mother's Jewish. I'm serious. Do I have a chiv to do something? George? He used to be across the street from Oli.
So he doesn't do anything. He doesn't keep anything.
What? Is there an Indian if someone's saying like you're supposed to tell him or do something about it?
On Brent Street.
Yeah. What? Kasha what?
The Kashlu Ishbachim.
Yeah, he called it I told once, you're Jewish or No.
Doesn't want to hear that.
I don't want to hear it.
The Rob always tells us